Hello, pickup truck and SUV fans. Tim Estrel here. Today I'm going to talk to you about the 2018 Ford F-150 with the new Power Stroke diesel. I just drove it earlier this week. The embargo is up, and here's my thoughts. But I'm not going to do it outside the truck because at the event in Denver it was rainy and snowy and altogether nasty outside. And while my video colleagues did a great job getting wet and cold and getting the camera out, well, I was lazy. I did not get out. so I'm going to do a voiceover here and kind of talk to you about my thoughts on the F-150 Power Stroke diesel. Which is a mouthful. I don't know if it's supposed to be Power Stroke Diesel F-150 or F-150 Power Stroke Diesel, or I'm not really sure. All right, so let's dive into it. I'm going to give you a few thoughts that I have a post up on pickuptrucktalk.com. I want to talk a little bit more about that. I kind of wanted to back up and give you some understanding on this Power Stroke. It kind of got lost in the news cycle after the 2018 NIAS Automotive Show. That's the one in Detroit, North American International Auto Show. If you don't know your acronyms, it just was so much going on that show. Silverado news, Ram news, Ranger news, Bronco news, Diesel. I mean, there's so much going on that it just got lost in the shuffle, and it shouldn't have. This is quite the deal from Ford. You know, they have done the EcoBoost for years and really rode that horse as being their fuel economy engine, and they also said it was pretty good for towing. And I've had some friends who had EcoBoost, and it's got plenty of power. It's just really bad fuel economy when you really start pulling with it. So here, enter in, and here comes the 3-liter V6 diesel. This has 250 horsepower and 440 foot-pounds of torque. What's really interesting is it's EPA rated at 30 mile per gallon highway, 22 city and 25 combined. Now that is in two-wheel drive. We don't know the numbers for four-wheel drive yet. I'd expect them out pretty soon. The truck's supposed to go on sale next month, so pricing and all the fuel economy numbers should be out pretty damn fast. So it really has a lot of fuel economy. The nearest competitor is a Ram EcoDiesel with the HFE package, high fuel efficiency package. It gets 29 mile per gallon. Typically gets about 28 in the non-HFE, which I won't go into that. So anyways, so we drove it outside Denver. We had a couple choices. We could tow a load. We could drive it as they call it dynamic driving experience. You just basically drove in the mountains. We did a fuel economy loop. Sorry. Fuel economy loop, or we took a extended cab, basically really base model, two-wheel drive, trying to get the best fuel economy out of it, and then we could haul. Now, hauling I didn't think was that big of a factor because it's going to haul fine. I didn't have any concerns there. I wanted to make sure we did the towing, and we did dynamic drive. Oh, excuse me. We had some off-road with some mud fun. I'm going to try to put a Facebook Live video somewhere in here so that we can watch the off-road fun we had. Unfortunately, it's going to be a little grainy, so we'll see how it goes. So let's start with the dynamic drive. We drove up to Rendezvous, a cafe up there in the mountains of Colorado, outside of Denver. We're over in Broomfield area. It's like south of Boulder. And drove through the canyons, really kind of overcast and cloudy, and it just wasn't it was more of a, not really a pleasant drive because we were dealing with the conditions. I can tell you what, it drove great. It drove like a standard F-150, I guess is the best way to say that. One of the most surprising things about that was when we stopped, a bunch of us had pulled in, and it was quiet. Like, it was weird quiet. Like, if you want a diesel to sound like a diesel, you're going to be disappointed in this truck. You're not going to like it at all. But if you want a diesel that you can actually order your McDonald's fast food with, yeah, this is the one. You don't have to turn it for your engine. It's great. It passes the drive-through test, which is a real thing. I said that in an event, and people were looking at me weird, but if you've ever been to McDonald's drive-through, it's a real thing. All right, so we drove that back, and we drove back down. I was with Jill Simonello, the fabulous Jill, and who's the podcast host, guest host, and she and I were talking on the way, and it felt kind of sluggish off the line as you were going. And I said, well, this is kind of the way the diesels are set up, because they're set up for more towing, the gearing ratio of the transmissions. And so she was a little disappointed in that because, typically with a car, especially when you're doing like a diesel-powered car, like a VW or something, you have a lot of power offline because that's what they set up torque for. In a truck, they set it up for be a little bit different as the shift patterns go. But then we found the sport mode button. Now this is on the driver's. It's on the shifter. It's on the side. It's a button. It's really bad placement. Once we put it in sport, that problem was gone. The thing flew. It was fantastic. Smiles on the faces. So then we came back and we towed a 5,400-pound trailer, which you'll find a video of, and I'll put a card up above. Jill had never towed before, so we towed with the trailer. It was great. One of kind of a few quick highlights with this was that it held speed at ascent. We did a 4% grade up the hill. Held speed fine. Offline was great, nice and smooth, plenty of power. And the braking was pretty good too. Now, we had a crew cab configuration. I'm guessing probably 8,000 to 9,000 was our towing capacity max. In the literature, the max towing for the diesel is 11,400 pounds. And certain configurations, I'm guessing regular cab, long bed, things you wouldn't normally, consumers won't have. But, towing 5,400 pounds, that's about average for consumers. We had a 2-horse trailer. You can have a boat that tows about 6,000 pounds at the event as well. And boat doesn't tow. The boat weighs that much. Stay with me here. So we towed, and we had a great time. The truck handled well. It was smooth. It braked well. And while you could tow 11,400 pounds with the half-ton, I stick with 5,000 to 7,000. I think that's just more than enough. Just because the brakes aren't quite there yet, as far as stopping force. Yeah, they work, and they work well. There's nothing wrong with them. But I would, if I'm going over 10,000 pounds, I'm going 3/4 ton. We did get about 19.8 mile per gallon as I was driving around. You can probably get better because I was kind of having fun with it. And which I thought was great. So you had the towing power similar to a naturally aspirated V8 engine, and you had the fuel economy from the diesel. Best of both worlds. We did the fuel economy challenge, which you took an extended cab, like the base model I said. We drove that around, and I got about 31.2, I think it was. And Jill bested me with 32. The winner got 40. But we were all trying tricks and things. So we did that. We did the towing. We did the fuel economy, and we went off-roading. Off-roading, had a great time. Make sure you check out Facebook Live or the video down below. It's fun. It's a lot of fun having a diesel off-road. More fun than I thought. Typically, I've done some diesels off-road, and it's really sluggish. And this was just great. I mean, in the snow and mud mode with the locked rear differential, I mean, just had a lot of fun. And so something I was really surprised with, and something that, maybe I could do some more off-roading with diesels. It's not something you think about. Typically, you think about diesel and towing. But, you can get the great fuel economy going out. You can play in the sand all day and then come back. Should we do a Raptor diesel? Future story ideas. To me, the conclusion is very simple. I did not expect it to be this good. I did not have any big expectations on it because it got lost news shuffle. I was surprised at how well it towed, how I still had more power going up hills, how the fuel economy was so good, and overall how quiet it sounded. I got to tell you what, I'm a big fan of the EcoDiesel, but I'm even a bigger fan of this Power Stroke. And I'm really excited to see what Chevy comes out with as well with the Baby Duramax, because if this is the way the market's going, well, there's a reason why Ford killed all their cars. This is what you need to buy. This thing's fantastic. I don't know anybody who left that event who can't be impressed with this truck like I was. And if this is what you're looking for, if you're looking for a great pickup that will tow will tow a lot, it has great fuel economy, this is going to be hard to beat. So I'm looking to do some more reviews down the road when I get a press loan or different events, because so far I got nothing but good things to say about it. So hey, there you go. So for more Pickup Truck Plus SUV news and more of my stylish face and stylish stud, make sure you check us out on pickuptrucktalk.com. Follow the podcast, iTunes, the Android Auto thing, or not Auto, but whatever the Google Play is. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Pinterest, we're on Instagram, all that stuff. Pickup Truck and SUV Talk, Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk. And you know what? We'll see you down the road.